Hey guys, welcome back to the FootyBros YouTube channel. Welcome back. So today's video, we are going to do our Premier League predictions. So we're going to try and predict the whole Premier League table. So this time next year, we can kind of see how well we did or how wrong we was about each team.
We just want to say a massive thank you for the support on the last video. It was absolutely incredible. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart and how much we do appreciate you taking your time out to watching two guys chat football. In today's video, if we could hit a like target of 25, or should we go a bit more ambitious?
We'll go with 25. We'll keep it low for now.
Okay.
Keep it low for now. 25 likes would be nice.
25 likes would be perfect, guys. If you do enjoy this, then please do smash that like button and subscribe. There's going to be plenty of football talk, watch-alongs, predictions, transfers. It's just a channel full of football.
And yeah, before we do get on with the video, if you do have any video or stream ideas you want to see us do, leave them down below in the comments. And yeah, we'll get going. So, as I said before, what we're going to do, we're going to predict from the 20th place all the way up to the Premier League winner. And we'll see how ours line up together. And yeah, let us know down below what your table looks like as well. Do you want to kick things off, Kieran?
I can do. So, 20th place.
Who's going down?
Who's going down? I have gone for Norwich City. I don't think Norwich City, with the fact that they've lost Buendia already, I just don't think they've got enough firepower, enough goal getters in their team to really push their team forward. And without scoring goals, you're not going to win games. Goals means wins.
So I've gone exactly the same as you. I think Norwich are going to finish rock bottom and go straight back down to the Championship. I just think they don't have enough going forward, like you say. You know, when they did come up initially, you know, Timu Pukki was doing really, really well. He scored 7 or 8 in the first, 10 games and then kind of fell off. Just don't think they have too much. I think Gilmore's a really good addition in the centre midfield, and there's still plenty of time to get some more business in. I just don't think they'll have enough, especially with them losing Buendia. So we're going to jump in with 19th place now, and I've gone for a little bit of a curveball. I have gone for Burnley. So with Burnley, I just think they've overstayed their welcome in the Premier League. I think they've rode the luck the last couple of seasons with Sean Dyche, and I just think it's their time at the moment. Could be totally wrong. They could finish top half and have a booming season, but I just think it's one of those years where Burnley might just fall short this year.
I've gone for Brentford. I think Brentford will do well in the big games. I think they're going to be one of them teams, a bit like Norwich did back when they were in the Premier League. You know, they won against some of the big boys. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, did they beat Man City at one point?
Yeah, they beat us, yeah.
And I think they beat Chelsea. I think Brentford's going to be that type of team. I think at home they're going to be very strong. I just think away from home they're going to struggle. They've got a great striker in Ivan Toney. He's a very good prospect, and I do think he is going to score some goals. I just don't think Brentford have enough going forward, especially away from home.
All right, so in 18th place, what I've gone for, I have gone for another little bit of a curveball. Not a team that's came up. I have gone for Crystal Palace. Another team that I think has spent, a good few years in the Premier League. I'm talking pretty much a decade now since they actually came up. They've just lost Roy Hodgson, so the stability is kind of gone. And I just think they've got tired legs in the team. I don't think they've not done too much business this summer. Zaha's he's been there a while now. He's 28, and they kind of put all the eggs in one basket with Zaha. Benteke's, injured in and out the side. The only shining light at Palace is Eze. For me, he's a really good talent. And there's still questions, will he be there at the start of next season? One of those teams, again, that I just think they've been, riding the luck a little bit, leaving it late in the season, and I think it might catch up with them.
I've gone for Burnley. I do think I'm along with John here as well. I do think Burnley have outstayed their welcome. I don't think they're going to finish second from bottom. I think they're just going to literally be that third and final relegation spot. They've got Chris Wood. You cross the ball, he will score. I just don't think, like John, I don't think Sean Dyche is... The teams have sort of now found a way of beating Burnley, and I think it's just going to be a little bit too much for Burnley this season.
So my 17th place side that are just going to scrape relegation is going to be Brentford. I think they're going to come out of the block strong with Ivan Toney. They've got some good attacking players, quite aggressive, and they're going to be quite an attacking team, similar to when Bournemouth initially came up. I think they're just going to survive this season, hopefully build on it. And I'd like to see Brentford stay up personally.
So the team I've gone for that's just going to scrape through is Brighton. I think Brighton are really going to struggle. They're going to lose a good centre-half in Ben White. They're not looking too active in the transfer as of recording this video. If they don't spend any of Ben White's money, I do think Brighton will struggle. They don't score too many goals and they do let a fair few in. Lewis Dunk is also been linked away from Brighton, so if they lose him and Ben White in the same transfer, it could be an absolute disaster.
So moving on to 16th place, another team that has just came up that are going to survive, it's going to be Watford. So I just think they've got some really good attacking players in like Ismail Assar, Troy Deeney, Andre Gray. Got a couple of strong midfielders. They're still looking at a few midfielders as well. So yeah, I think they will stay up. Not comfortably, but I think they'll stay up and build on it going forward. They've got a lot of Premier League experience, been in the league quite a lot. I think they will bounce back and I think they will stay up.
I have also gone for Watford for pretty much the same reasons. I think their attacking force is strong. They've got a few names on the transfers this season as well, and if they do, secure one or two of them being rumoured, I think Watford could be a very good team. Not saying they're going to win hundreds and hundreds of games, but they're going to win a fair few, and I think they're going to be quite strong at home this year, like they were last time they were in the Premier League. They were quite strong at home. It's just their away form let them down. But I don't think this year, I'll be very surprised this year if they do get relegated. With, like you said, the attacking forwards they've got some incredible people, fast, quick and powerful. And I do think Watford will stay up.
My 15th place side, so moving on again, I've gone for Brighton. Like you mentioned before, they are struggling for goals at the moment. In the last couple of years, they've had a very high XG and not really been able to take the chances. I think this might change a little bit. They're still going to, create quite a lot like they've done in the past. Just need to get a few more goals in. So it's not really going to cost them. I don't think they're going to change too much. They're, defensively sound. They have lost Ben White. I think they will replace him and they'll be pretty solid next season. I think they've got a good young manager with some good ideas. So I think they will be safe.
So my 15th place is Palace. I think with Zaha and Eze and Benteke. Benteke had a really good end to last season. I do believe he scored a fair few goals back to back, and I think he's finally found his form. And I think if he could just take that into the start of this season, I think he could get Palace off to a flying start. You've got Eze, Zaha, providing the width for Benteke, getting the balls in. Benteke will score tons of headers. If he has the service, Benteke is actually a very good striker, and I do think his goals are going to be very important this year for Palace to stay up, and that is why I put them in the 15th place.
So in 14th place, I have gone with a really big club in Newcastle United. Great fan base, great stadium, just not a great side at the moment. They've struggled over the last few years, but they have came back up and have been pretty solid under Steve Bruce since he's taken over. So yeah, they're not a bad side. They've got Callum Wilson up front. They've got some bright young talent. So in 14th place, they will avoid a relegation battle. They might get dragged into it a little bit, but I think they will come out strong.
So in 14th place, I've gone for Southampton. Because if they do lose Danny Ings and they don't invest their money wisely, I think it could be a very costly transfer. I think Southampton are a great, stable club. They've got some really good players. Got their James Ward-Prowse. They've got some really good players and very, very experienced in the Premier League. But I just think that is all they are. They are a mid-bottom table team, and I think they're just gonna stay like they are. They're not gonna get any better. They're not gonna get any worse. They're just a middle.
Just keep it secure.
Yeah, just keep it secure and stable.
So in 13th place, I have gone for Southampton. Quite similar to Kieran, who went 14 for those. Good strong side. I don't think they'll struggle too much. They've got like Djenepo, really strong midfielder. Danny Ings up front, who may stay. He's looking at a move to Manchester United, City, Tottenham. He's trying to get a move up. We'll see if that happens. But if he does stay, that'd be great for them. So I think they are a strong side. I don't think they'll get dragged into a relegation battle, but I don't think they're strong enough to break into that top half.
So I've gone in 13th place. I've gone for Newcastle United, especially if they can secure Joe Willock. When Joe Willock did arrive at Newcastle, he was banging goals left, right and centre. on a day-to-day, on a week-to-week basis. And I think if they do secure him, I'm not saying he is going to be the team changer, but if you think about the team, they've got St. Maximum, they've got Joe Linton, they've got Almiron. Them three are very, very good strikers. If they've got Joe Willock feeding them off the front three, I think it could be absolutely devastating. Still don't think it's going to be enough to break the top 10 in the league, but I think a nice, respectable 13th. Big club, big stadium, big manager. I think 13th is a very respectable place for Newcastle. If I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be happy with them in 13th place.
So, up to 12th place now, I have gone for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Obviously, with a new manager this season, with a couple of new signings, some really strong young talent up front, I think they'll do quite well. Obviously, with Jimenez coming back from his quite bad injury last season, they'll want to get the ball rolling again. They want to have a good season and really pick things back up from where they left off before that last season. And I think they will do this season coming. Not really breaking the top half and where they want to be back in the Europa League and stuff. But I think a nice 12th place position where they finish.
I have also gone for Wolves. I think, agree with John, Jimenez is back, so the goals are going to come back naturally. I just think if he gets injured again, I think it could be catastrophic, especially with them potentially losing Ruben Neves as well. I just think Wolves are not quite there. They're going to have a new manager, and I think Nuno was, and still is, an incredible manager. So to lose a decent manager, I think Wolves are going to struggle at the start of the season, and that's why I think 12th is a respectable league position, because I think they are going to struggle at the start, but they will pick it up during the end. But little too late.
So going into the 11th place, I have gone with Aston Villa. I think they'll drop off a little bit from where they finished last season. Especially if they lose Jack Grealish. I know they picked up Buendia, and they might be getting Leon Bailey. I think they'll have a pretty good season, but they won't quite crack that top half. Very good team. I just think they will drop off a little bit, with the loss of Grealish if they do. And I just don't think they'll set the world alight with the new signings. It's always hard for new players to adapt. But Buendia will probably do quite well. He's not got any Premier League experience yet, but he's come up from a good season. Leon Bailey, highly rated, but will he set Premier League alight straight away? Who knows?
So in 11th place, I have gone for Leeds United. I think Leeds had an exceptional season last season, but I think now they're in their second season, I think they're going to sort of be brought back to reality. Still think Leeds is a very good club, and I still think 11th is a very respectable league position for a team like Leeds United. They've got a solid spine when you do look at their players. They've got Calvin Phillips, who is, well, I was very impressed with him in the Euros. I mean, Calvin Phillips could, in my opinion, play for a top 6 team. So they've got some good players in people like Calvin Phillips. I still think they're just a few players off breaking into that top 10. But again, 11th for me is a respectable league position for a team like Leeds.
So moving into the top half places now, I've gone with West Ham United in 10th place. Last season they did finish 6th. They had a very strong season. They kept it consistent for a long, long time under David Moyes. I think that loss of Lingard, he's back at United now. They possibly won't get him back on a loan or on a permanent deal next season. I think that'll be a bit of a loss in terms of kind of the connection between Declan Rice, Lingard, and then into the front three. Kind of like there'd be a missing link in between. They may make a signing, they might have someone else in there, Jared Bowen, etc., etc. I just think they will be missing that kind of spark that Lingard did give them. So yeah, I think 10th place is where West Ham will finish. So they drop off a little bit, especially because they've got European football this year as well. It'd be quite a lot to take on.
In 10th place, I've gone for Aston Villa. I still think without Jack Grealish potentially going to Man City, I think Buendia is a very underrated player. He was so consistent in the Championship last season. I think he was involved in like 60% of Norwich's goals last season. Assists, all goals. And I think if they do lose Jack Grealish, I think they've got a great signing in Buendia. He was linked to teams like Arsenal and Tottenham before Villa pulled the plug and said, look, we'll pay whatever you want to pay, and we'll pay it. So I think Villa have got a very good player, and I think top half of the table for a club like Aston Villa, you can't grumble at that.
So moving into the 9th place position, I've gone for Leeds United. exactly the same place as what they finished last season in ninth. They just pipped Everton on goal difference last season. So I think they've got a strong side. They've made that deal permanent from City for Jack Harrison. They've got Calvin Phillips. Rafinha's been really, really good on the wing alongside Rodrigo and Patrick Bamford. So yeah, they've got a strong enough side to finish in the top half for sure again this season. I think they're a really good unit, so they work well as one.
I've gone in ninth position, West Ham. I think Declan Rice is a phenomenal player. I think having European football will damage their league position this year because there's a lot of games and West Ham haven't been in European football in ages, and I just think it might just be a little too much for them this year. They're going to concentrate, in my eyes, in the European football because they haven't been there for so long, so why wouldn't you prioritise European football? They're going to enjoy the European football, and I do think the Premier League standings will suffer. I'm not saying that West Ham aren't going to perform well in the Premier League. I just think with the football and all the other games they've got as well, I think it might just be a little too much for them this year.
So going for the 8th position now, I am going to go for Everton, which is 2 places higher than what they actually finished last year under Ancelotti. I just think they made some pretty shrewd signings this summer. Nothing to write home about, but they've made some really good signings, like Damari Gray from Leverkusen and little things like that. I do think under Rafa Benitez, they'll keep it really tight at the back and they'll be quite a hard team to break down. So I think they will grind out some results. And yeah, especially with a full crowd again at Goodison, I think they'll do really, really well this season. So an 8th place finish will be really, really good to bounce back from that kind of disappointing in the end Ancelotti season.
I have also gone for Everton. I think under Rafa Benitez, like John has said, I think they're going to be very, very tight and very, very strong at the back. And with Damari Gray for $1.5 million, I mean, that is one hell of a season. He's Prem proven and he was doing really well for Leverkusen. He's now back where he wants to be, and I think he wants to prove. The Premier League that that he is a good player. And I do think Rafa Benitez is a very experienced manager. He's won titles with Liverpool. He's won the Champions League with Liverpool, and I think bringing his mentality of winning big trophies, he's going to try and install that within Everton Football Club. So I'm putting him down as an 8th place finish, simply because they're a little too far off the top 4, top 6. They need two or three hella signings to be competing at that level. 8th for me is a very respectable league position.
All right, so moving into the 7th place side, I have gone for Tottenham Hotspur. Same as last season, a 7th place finish. Just don't think they're going to have too much this season. Obviously, if they do lose Harry Kane especially. So I don't think Tottenham are going to have too much more than they did last season. They're going to, possibly losing Harry Kane. So a 7th place finish would be, be exactly the same as last season. They've just brought in Brian Gill, who's a really good signing. And Son's just signed a new deal. So they will have, some good players around. But I think Tottenham's time has kind of passed them by. Obviously, with the era where they got to Champions League final, they nearly won the league when Leicester won it. It's an aging squad. Just don't see them pushing on too much this season. 7th place.
I have also gone for Tottenham Hotspurs for pretty much the same reasons. I would just like to add, obviously, Nuno, first season in charge at Tottenham. Nuno's a very good manager. But for any manager to come into a different team and to expect higher than the previous seasons is going to be near impossible. So I think 7th place, like they did finish last season, under Nuno, losing Harry Kane. If they don't replace Harry Kane with a top quality striker, they could struggle scoring goals. I think also losing Kane is going to have a hell of a detrimental effect on Son. I think Son relies a lot on with Kane. Their link-up play this season was absolutely phenomenal. I just think Kane is, the heartbeat of Tottenham. If they lose Kane, it's a disaster.
Moving on into 6th place, I have gone for Arsenal. So Arsenal last season finished in 8th, so this will be a 2-place increase. I think Arsenal are looking at making some good signings this summer with Ben White at the back. I think they've just signed Sambi Lokonga, who was highly rated a couple of years ago, looking at Chelsea and United and City were looking at him. So yeah, for them to get him on quite a cheap price as well, he'll do really well in the midfield. So I do think Arteta will turn them in the right direction, but I don't think it will be more than a 2-place increase than last season. I think that'll be a lot to expect, especially with Aubameyang. You know, he is aging now, he's 32, and he's not really been firing too well. I think 2 places up to 6, and then they'll try and build on that again next season, maybe just push into that top 4 if they can spend well again next summer.
Number 6. I've gone for my beloved team, Arsenal, as well. I think for the same sort of reasons. I think the signings have been good. They've not been exceptional, but they have been good, steady signings. You've got Lokonga, who is highly rated by Vincent Kompany. Do I think he's going to be a first-team midfielder? I'd like to think so. You've seen him in pre-season. He looks very, very comfortable on the ball. I think he's going to be a game changer for Arsenal. And I also think Ben White, it's about time Arsenal invested heavily in their centre-backs. We haven't signed a centre-back over 50 million ever. So it's a big signing. He will start probably alongside Gabriel. And I think Gabriel, Tierney and Ben White, and then whoever we're going to have at the right back, I think that's quite a solid back four. I just don't think we've got enough going forward, which is crazy to think when you've got Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe. You know, we spent a lot of money recently on these strikers. I just don't think I still think we are missing a number 10. I know Smith Rowe has signed as a number 10, but that's a lot of weight on somebody's young shoulders. So
as
Martin
Martin Tyler would say, it's the Croydon De Bruyne. He doesn't shut up about that. But yeah, I think they are missing that spark in midfield that Ødegaard kind of gave him last season. Yeah. It'd be nice if you got him back in alongside Smith Rowe, can switch them out. That'd be cool. But 6th place is quite respectable, and hopefully they can build on that again.
Yeah, definitely.
So up to the 5th place position now. This might be a little bit of a controversial one, but I think they will fall short of the top 4. They almost did last season. I'm going to go for Liverpool. Reason being, I just don't think they've got that fire in the belly anymore. They worked so hard over them 2 years when they won the Champions League and when they won the Premier League, when there was a point behind us, and then they did it the season after. Last season they got to beat a couple of times before Van Dijk got injured. And I just think Van Dijk obviously is in training now. Gomez is in training now. But is he going to be the same player? Hopefully he is. I wish him all the best and hope he's fit and firing. But there's always that kind of coming back from a year-long absence. Do you go into challenges 100% with full confidence? Similar to like Benjamin Mendy, he was really good for the first few games, did his ACL, came back, and then he just he's a bit tentative into the challenge. He never really goes in 100% anymore because he's kind of not scared. It's just like a subconscious thing, thinking, I could get injured here, kind of thing. So I just think Liverpool don't have that fire in the belly. I don't think they've invested enough or really changed it up too much. Jota's an okay signing from last summer. He's not really set the world alight. If Salah and Mane get things going again, they'll do well. But I just can't see him doing better than the players, the teams in the top 4.
So I've gone for same as last season, Leicester City. I just still don't think they've got enough going forward. Jamie Vardy's getting a little bit older now. You take Vardy off, you've got Iheanacho. Iheanacho did have a fantastic end to the season, but again, I don't think they've got quite enough. If they can sign another centre half alongside Fofana and Soyuncu, I think Johnny Evans is slightly getting too old now.
You do well in the window before the season kicks off.
That is what I'm trying to say. If they do well before the season kicks off in the transfer, I think they could potentially go for the top 4, but for now I'm sticking with the top 5. 5th position for Leicester City. Yeah,
just going back to Liverpool as well, they'll have that Champions League burden as well, so playing those group stage games as well. So I just think, they might prove me wrong. They could go and win the league and smash it, but it's like, Arsenal could finish top 4 as well. It's one of those things, it's never going to be perfect, your prediction, is it? I just think Leicester, it might be their year. I don't know, it sounds silly with an aging Vardy and Maddison might be leaving. I just think with Tielemans and some of the young talent they've got there, they might end up doing it, but only time will tell. And when you mention those things, you think they might miss out again. But Yeah, we'll see what happens at that one. But in fourth place, I do have Leicester. So going straight back to Leicester, got some really good talent. Tielemans, really young Belgian midfielder. He's quality. Got the winning goal in the FA Cup final. So I think they can beat these big sides, like they did with Chelsea in the final. It's just sometimes it's towards the end of the season where they just kind of lose it and lose their heads a little bit. But I think the last two seasons they must have learned from it. They must have learned from it. Third time lucky this year that Leicester will do it. The key for it is probably getting Vardy firing again because he hasn't been scoring as much as he used to. Maybe losing that yard of pace a little bit. But I think they could do it. Could finish fourth.
So for fourth, I've gone for Liverpool. I think Liverpool, like John said as well, they've got a lot of games coming up this season. And I think if they do finish fourth, which I do think they will, that would be, they can't grumble at finishing in that place. With Liverpool having to play the pre-Champions League football games, I think it might just be a little too much for them to finish any higher than fourth. I can't see any Liverpool fans grumbling at finishing fourth. I don't think they're going to win the league anytime soon. I think they've done it. They've been there. They've done that now. I think it's going to be another 15, 20 years before they do it again. I just think the three clubs left are phenomenal.
Agreed with that, to be fair. Like Leicester and Liverpool, it could go either way, fourth or fifth. I think they're quite similar. Liverpool probably have more killers in the side that have been there and done it.
Yeah.
Just see like who stays fit as well, because even like what you say with Van Dijk, Gomez can get injured just as easy as well. He spent a lot of the time in the physio room. But yeah, moving on to third place, I have gone for Chelsea Football Club. With Chelsea, I think they're a strong side. Obviously, since Tuchel taken over, he's taken them to that next level. Won the Champions League, kicked on in the Premier League. Some games you did see, there was a bit boring, a 0-0. They lost at home to West Brom. There was a few cracks. I think they want to work on that. They're trying to sign a striker. They're doing some good business in the summer. So yeah, I think they will be consistent. They'll definitely secure that top four quite with ease, quite strongly. I just don't know if it's enough to challenge City and United, especially with the signings United have been making. I think they'll just miss out. But yeah, they could go all the way and win it. Personally, I think they'll finish third, and then they'll try and maybe get to Haaland next summer and kind of take it up another level.
I have also gone for Chelsea, so we're very similar now. I've got a feeling we're going to be quite similar now to the number one. I think Chelsea, Champions League winners last season. I think they're going to try and push for a back-to-back Champions League. That's sometimes unheard of. Back-to-back Champions League finalists. I think Chelsea are going to try and do that, especially under Tuchel. Since Tuchel's come in, he's been absolutely phenomenal. Chelsea are a completely different team. Not saying Frank Lampard had a bad start to his Chelsea career. I just think Tuchel's just a tiny bit more experience. He has that winning mentality. I think he's going to concentrate more in the Champions League again this season. With the signings that Manchester United have made as well, and that Man City are looking to make, I just can't see Chelsea competing for the top two just yet. I think they're going to concentrate on that Champions League.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how Tuchel does do with a full season, because he only got half a season last time out, and he was pretty close. Well, there's 19 points behind City last season. So would Tuchel, been able to make those 19 points up, with that Lampard lost? But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Anyway, moving on to the second place side, I think it'll stay exactly the same as it did last season. I think Manchester United will finish second. Reason being, they're a very strong side already. I'm not too keen on Ole. I don't think he's the man that will win the Premier League, and I don't think he will win the Champions League with them. I just don't think he's got that experience as a manager. When you look at Ole's when you're watching United play, you don't really see a philosophy. It just doesn't, you don't see, when you watch Pep, you can see how they're playing. When you watch Klopp teams, you know how they're playing. When you watch Ole, it's get it to Bruno or get it out wide and win a penalty. It just doesn't seem like there's, any thought going into the play. But, they signed Varane, they signed Sancho. There's a lot going on at the club. They're really, pushing to push City all the way. Well, looking to push City all the way. So I think they will secure that second place finish.
I have also gone for Manchester United. I think the signings that we've done with Varane and Sancho are good signings. I'm more impressed with the Varane signing, in all honesty. I finding that Maguire partnership is going to be key to the success this season. I still think they're just a player off Man City. I think Man City are for. It hurts me to say because the guy to my left or right is a Man City fan, but it hurts me to say. But I do think Man United are just going to just going to miss out on the first spot. I still think there's a little bit left to do. I think, as like John said, don't think Ollie's the correct manager for Man United. However, he has just signed a new 4-year deal with Manchester United, so they're not looking to push him out anytime soon. I just think they're a couple of players short, especially their strikers. Obviously, they're relying on a lone striker again this season, by the looks of it, in Cavani. I don't know. I just want a little bit more from Martial and a little bit more from Rashford. Do I think Jadon Sancho is a good signing? I think he's a good signing. I think he's quite controversial. I think he's quite overrated in my opinion. I don't think Man United needed a winger, in all honesty. They needed
all the time will tell.
They needed a centre half.
All the time will tell.
They got a centre half.
So yeah, I think with United, I don't think, in my personal opinion, from the outside looking in, and this is not from a biased City point of view, it doesn't matter who they sign. I don't think they'll win a major title under Ollie. I think he steadied the ship and sent them in a really good direction. I just don't think he's the man to get them over the line. You know, the fact that he went out in so many semi-finals and then he got to the final and he lost on penalties. It's inexcusable to lose a final against Villarreal. I don't care who you are. Like, you know, no one's talking about it anymore because, you know, a lot's happened since. But it'll come back. You know, if they get to another semi-final, another final, and they don't get over the line again. And then you know, you're not even talking about these small cups. You want to be winning the Premier League or the Champions League, really, and he's not close to doing that yet. You know, there's still a while off. So yeah, going on to the number 1 spot. Do you want to kick us off?
I think it's going to be Arsenal. I think it's going to be Manchester City, especially if they do sign Harry Kane and Jack Grealish. I think them players are enough to win the league again. I mean, they could lose Raheem Sterling and lose Gabriel Jesus, but if they're replacing them with Harry Kane and Jack Grealish, you can't grumble at that, can you? And they've got a solid centre half in Ruben Diaz. He's been an absolute tank, an absolute god for Man City. They've got a strong spine of the team. They've got an incredible manager. They've got a beautiful stadium. The kits are questionable at times, but I cannot see the top place going to anybody else but Man City this season. Yeah,
well, looking at the starting 11, like, you know, you're looking at we've got 2 teams in it, but if you look at how it could line up with Kane and Grealish, you've got Mahrez on the right, Kane, Grealish as your front 3, then Foden and De Bruyne are just in behind, Fernandinho, Rodri, you know, holding midfielder. Then like your left back could be either Cancelo or Zinchenko, Diaz, Stones, Walker, Ederson, and then you're not even including your Jesus's, Sterling's, stuff like that can come off the bench. So yeah, there'll be movement in the market. Bernardo Silva might leave, Laporte might leave, but they're gonna, you know, facilitate the signings of Kane and Grealish. So yeah, it's exciting times for City fans. We do want to get over the line in the Champions League, so I think they'll help in that regard as well. But obviously we want to retain the Premier League. We've done it once before with Pep. We want to do it again and hopefully get the three-peat like Fergie did with United. But this will be Pep's 4th Premier League in 6 years if he does win it.
There we have it. So yeah, let us know in the comment section below what your top, you know, your 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and let us know what your 20th, 19th, and 18th is. It'd be very interesting to see. Or just let us know the whole table if you really want to spam.
Yeah, get your tables down.
Spam that comment section. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy that, then please do leave a like. Subscribe if you want to sort of help us out, and if you are interested in football related content, we've got a lot of watch alongs coming. We've got a fair few ideas, but also let us know in the comment section below if you have any ideas or streams that you want us to do. We're always, you know, we want to sort of facilitate this channel to to help you
Yeah,
guys.
I just want to have fun,
And have
show
fun.
you guys what you want to see as well. And obviously we've got our Instagram, Twitter pages as well. FootyBros YT. That should be on the banner somewhere, shouldn't it? Anyway, but it'll all be linked down below. So yeah, it's been fun. Soon come will be the watch-alongs as well. The Premier League season's kicking off soon. We've got the big Brentford Arsenal game that we will be covering. Even Tony's getting ready for that. He's lacing his boots up already. I'm licking my lips at Kieran's tears. We'll see. Hopefully, that little giant killing on the first day. Eh? We'll see. Little red card. Keep it. We know Arsenal love a red card after last season, so we'll see if they pick things up where they left off. But yeah, it should be exciting, and I'm glad you could join us for the video today.
Thank you for guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace. See you later, guys. With Burnley, I just think they've stayed up. Guys. Just getting it right, innit? Yeah. Jesus. With with Sean Dyche's style of play, they've kind of grown.